Hi guys, it's DanMiniGuN again bringing you a video. I might sound a bit happy, but that's just because I'm making a loud voice for the microphone. I'm actually not very happy because this video is not a happy one. Battlefield 5 is essentially an early access game. Why am I saying this? Well, let me clarify. Battlefield 5 has an excellent core gameplay experience, has good map design, has all of these that I wanted. It's a World War II game, even though some people don't agree on that, but I agree, so I don't care. What I want to point out is that, just like with BF1's Apocalypse DLC, in which I made the Rant video, this is another one of those. EA has done it again. What have they done? Well, do I really need to explain? Battlefield 5 is riddled with bugs, and I mean game-breaking, annoying, almost BF4 levels of bugs. And it only escapes being BF4 level because it doesn't crash every 2 seconds, at least it doesn't for me, and it doesn't seem to be for most people, thankfully. They got that one right. This is not a video to hate on DICE, far from it. DICE has been very responsive to me during the development of Battlefield 5, and I have received a free game from them, so I'm grateful, and that is also full disclosure, of course. But, and this is a big but, EA clearly prioritized their pre-Christmas financial gains over releasing a proper, stable product under the pretense of let's make it better through the live service. No. The live service is there to provide free content, while the cosmetic micro is there to supplement that free content in financially speaking. This was done supposedly to remove the premium barrier, which it does. Quite frankly, after freaking BF2 and all those games with a premium or paid DLC system, I am sick of this and I'm thankful it's gone. But, and again, this is another big but, EA have not released a finished product. We have game-breaking bugs everywhere. We have anything ranging from simple animation bugs to ADS breaking to damage stacking. Like, it's almost BF4 level, as I said earlier. Why am I making this video? The last thing I want to do is introduce even more negativity after BF5's fiasco of a marketing campaign, because quite frankly I like the game and I want to see it do well, because it is simply my favorite experience so far, despite some balancing issues which quite frankly all Battlefield games have had, and Battlefield 5's balancing issues are not as severe so far. I mean, just recall BF1 where the time to kill was simply way too slow. Now I know not everyone liked that change, but you can't really please everyone. Regardless, my point is that EA has released an early access title with €60. Well, at least at this point, because they actually dropped the price quite frequently now. Apparently Battlefield 5 has already sold more than half as well as BF1. This is what you get while you're disrespecting your customer base. Now, I'm not one to side with the whole revisionist crowd who just make a video 20 minutes long claiming that Battlefield 5 is some sort of propaganda. If you really think it's propaganda, maybe you should check your facts from actual historical text or something like that, not a freaking online shooter. If you don't like the women, that's fine. I didn't like them at first either, but it's just a video game. Calm the hell down. What is not acceptable, however, was how EA responded to this fiasco, basically calling everyone uneducated. Now, I'm sure some of them really are, but that's not the point. You should never offend your consumer base. I think that should be marketing 101. That said, I don't think the community should have taken too much offense from this, because it's just one random person saying a bollocks argument about his daughter enjoying Fortnite or whatever it was. It was just one guy. Yes, representing EA, but it was just one guy making a dumb comment, so whatever. I'm not going to try and apologize for this, naturally, but that is actually the point of this video. I don't want to sound like an apologist for early access titles. This is an early access title. This is a rant. It's basically what it is. Battlefield 5 clearly needed more time. Imagine what would have happened if this game had been released in its initial October release date. I mean, it's already pretty bad now. I cannot imagine what it could have been. What is abundantly clear, however, is that the 2-year gap between games is simply not enough. Yes, BF1 launched in a pretty good state, but it still wasn't perfect. It had many bugs, like couldn't even turn the turret on a tank sometimes. We didn't have RSP on launch again. I mean, again, in terms of BF5, because we still don't have this. Why don't we have RSP? I expect RSP to be on consoles at this point, not just being absent on PC. This is ridiculous. We cannot create our own fun experience. I know not everyone likes admins because admins can be pricks. I was an admin myself, and I can say that many admins are pricks. But that's not the point. We want RSP. We want to create our own servers. We want to manage them properly. How would you fix this? Well, give us a lot of servers from your side. So if you don't want to play on a custom server, just join a vanilla one. That's all you need. Killing Floor 2 does this. Why can't Battlefield 5 do this? And I know many people are claiming that there's not enough content. I can somewhat understand this, even though personally I feel that the amount of content is okay. I mean, the maps are better off for the most part. They are quality over quantity, but still 8 maps is not something to be particularly proud of, even though we're getting one very soon. And I think the weapon selection could have been higher, considering that, for example, we only get 4 LMGs or 3 assault rifles. Yes, I know some classes have more than one weapon type, but this was an issue with BF1 as well. I remember having 3 SMGs was simply just not fun enough, especially when your other option was shotguns, where they did feel different, but they were a little bit samey compared to SMGs. Even after the extremely poor marketing campaign, even after they somehow did not foresee the incredible backlash this was going to cause in the gaming community in general, even though I think it's a bit exaggerated, they should have seen what happened with COD World War II. I mean, people lost their minds because they saw a black guy in Battlefield 1 German army, which is actually not that out of place. But people freaked out anyway, much less what BF5 has done, introduce playable female characters in multiplayer, which by the way I don't mind. I did at first, but it can be argued to be a customization option as much as a prototype weapon is gameplay variety. So I have no problems with that. The problem I have is that they did not realize that the target demographic has these issues. I mean, couldn't they have just shown the trailer to a select few of people and saw the reaction? The trailer is a big deal. A lot of the controversy started way before the game actually released. You see 20-minute videos complaining about my revisionism or whatever. If you want to complain about revisionism, go complain about the people trying to apologize for Japan's action during the war, for example. Don't go after a freaking developer and their silly multiplayer shooter, even though I love the silly multiplayer shooter, but that's not the point. So yeah, this was pretty much a rant video. EA have again not changed their ways. Not that I expected them to, because they never do. This game needed to come out at least a month from now, and if you're concerned about the after Christmas everyone broke no buying games, just release it in the summer, where many people, especially students, are on their vacation and want to play more video games. And there are very few games. This is not my original suggestion. I think Angry Joe actually mentioned this at some point, not for BF5 specifically, but this. Just use your brain, don't just look at money and the maximum possible profit. Look at the fallout that comes from, pun intended, because Fallout 76 is also atrocious. But anyway, look at the fallout resulting from pissing off your customer base. I mean, I'm quite surprised that we don't have lawsuits like we had with BF4 on the buggy state of the game. This is not acceptable. Again, I'm not trying to hate on the devs. I really didn't want to make this video, but I cannot in good conscience keep praising the good elements of BF5 without mentioning the absolutely atrocious state that it has launched in. It's very embarrassing to play with developers on voice chat and to hear them kind of almost, well, they don't criticize their own game obviously, but they get frustrated by the bugs. They really do. You're telling me that developers would not have released a fully fledged, mostly bug-free game if they had the time to do so? I think they would have. I mean, they're fixing it now. Why not fix it earlier and release it and maximize sales instead of nuking it? Especially after that horrible marketing campaign that I just mentioned. Well, that was not a fun video to make. The last similar video I made, this was BF1's Apocalypse DLC, which is also another Rush DLC. Which actually just cements the point that it doesn't really matter if you have a live service or premium system, it's still rush content anyway. Don't rush content, treat your consumer base with respect, and quite frankly, if your team is not capable of producing a good, fully fledged game after 2 years, give them more, give them 2.5, give them 3 years, give them 4 if they need to. This is not necessary, it's not acceptable, it's not fair on the consumer, and this is all this is at the end of the day. Even with my feelings towards the developers and to the game, this is a consumer to producer relationship. Make it work, don't piss us off. And I won't be making, or well, not just the only one making these videos, because I think many content creators are in my group, they like the game, but there are a lot of bugs. And these bugs need to go away as fast as possible, but I will never forgive them for it. This has been DanMiniGuN, and well, this has been obviously a Rant video. I'll see you, hopefully, on a less buggy Battlefield 5.
My car walking. Oh, I have the bug where I zoom in underneath the weapon.
Are you swimming in nothingness?
No, when I aim down sights, it does iron sight plus scope at the same time. That bug.
Oh.
It's I need a corpse so I can switch weapons. Sometimes it fixes that.